Let's start today's episode.
Welcome back, Period Besties. We have a treat for you today because I get to interview my period bestie, Stasha. She got to interview me last week, and now tables have been turned. Are you ready?
I am. Bring it on.
I just feel like it's so fun to catch up and chat and let everybody know all the awesome things you've been up to. But before we talk about all of that, how's Perry? Fill us in. Where are you? What's going on? I know what's going on. Tell everyone else what's going on.
Well, it's been a journey, I will say. I am in the place now where I'm definitely getting night sweats. I'm definitely having hot flashes. Not as extreme as like you see on the internet, but like my mom and my dad were here and we were sitting there and I was like, "Is it hot? Should I turn on some fans?" And they all looked at me and were like, "No, it's just you." I was like, okay, great. And I'm like a sheen of sweat, like I could feel a little like under my hair, on the back of my neck, on the top of my head, just like this little fine. So I was like, okay, great. That's where we're at. Good to know. Fantastic. And mom was like, well, myself and your sister never had hot flashes. So I don't think you're going to really experience them. And I'm going to say it's not as bad as I have seen other people. So I think it's not terrible, but it's certainly like, okay. And then I have woken up in the middle of the night with like my legs dripping with sweat in the last years. A lot, like a lot, a lot. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely hitting that point now where it's like things are 100% changing. I used the Mira hormone tester to give it a see what was going on, and I had no progesterone. So I didn't take my progesterone for 2 cycles just to test with Mira and see. So no progesterone at all. My estrogen was like boom, 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 up, down, gone, 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 flatline, flatline, flatline. So I was like, okay, I'm obviously like in the thick of it. Although my blood work came back at the beginning of the year as being perfect. So that goes to show you the difference between like a snapshot of blood work and actual hormonal testing over time. So yeah, that was big. I went to Planned Parenthood to my doctor and I have to do blood work and I did all of the tests. I just had my ultrasound yesterday because I had a high liver enzyme in my blood work and they can't give me estrogen until my liver is accounted for. And they did the ultrasound yesterday and a tech said that she thinks that I have fatty liver. And I was like, how? And she was like, well, if you drink, I was like, I don't drink. She goes, okay, well, if you eat seed oils, I go, I cook at home with olive oil or grass-fed butter. And there are no seed oils in our house, in fact, actually. And she was like, fried foods. I'm like, I can't eat gluten, so I very rarely eat anything fried. I haven't had gluten in about 20 years. She was like, uh, I really have absolutely nothing for you then. I'm going to send your results to your doctor, and I guess you'll just have to talk to your doctor. And I was like, okay. So I have no idea. I know I have an appointment with my doctor to go through the tests, but yeah, so I've stumped them. I looked online myself, and the internet was also stumped. So I was like, okay.
I have a thought. I mean,
Mhm.
there's no reason for this thought, but with the endometriosis and having it for so long, would that affect your liver at
I did
all?
have
Like, is this the
one.
first time that they've checked?
No, I've had this liver enzyme spike multiple times over the last decade. I've had 3 ultrasounds previous to the one I had yesterday because of it, and they've all come back perfectly fine. So I did have one doctor tell me that if you have autoimmune issues, sometimes you can get these weird liver readings. And since endometriosis is very similar to autoimmune and celiac is autoimmune, and she was like, if you have one, you probably have multiple. So she did say that. So then Chris, God bless him, was like, well, in Qigong, in Eastern medicine, we would call that I think, fire liver. And that would be from repressed anger. or emotion that needs to be put out. And I was like, so literally your prescription would be to go out into the forest and scream once a day. And he went, yes, that's, yeah. Move the chi, like focus on doing some chi cycling through the liver, but also, yeah, I would just go out and scream. That would definitely be something that, like, if you were my client, I would do. And I was like, all right, so my prescription is to go into the forest and just scream.
Um, yeah,
I know. I was
do
like,
like
actually, that
why
sounds
not?
great.
It's not gonna hurt.
I know. That's what I said. I was like, well, it can't hurt. So I should probably text the neighbors, having a little scream therapy. I'm good. But
Oh God. I have another question for you back with the estrogen
Mhm.
up and down, gone. Because of the endo, have you talked to your doctor about, I know you're on progesterone, but what does she think about the estrogen and all of
Yeah.
that? Like, does, I'm
We
just
had a
curious.
long, no, we had a long conversation about that. And she said at the very minimal dosage, I may find relief without it flaring up the endo. She said she's had a lot of clients that she's done this with. So she said we would give it a shot. And if it doesn't feel good for you, we would just get rid of it. But if it, she said she's had a lot, I don't know, of patients that have endometriosis that they just did the lowest dosage through perimenopause, and it was enough to ease off the symptoms, but not enough to inflame the endometriosis. So,
That's promising.
yeah. So I was like, okay, great. Well, then I'll try it because worst thing that happens is I don't feel great and I take it off and I don't use it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. We're still in this like, can I get help or not situation. But she said all she needs is to show that my doctor did the due diligence that I'm healthy enough to have that. And so I guess now it'll just be up to my doctor to see what those readings mean and then make her decision on it, which hopefully she'll be like, no, let's give it a shot. So. We'll see. Fingers crossed, but if not, then I guess I'll just stick with my progesterone.
Yes. Are you still cycle syncing or are you taking it throughout your whole cycle now?
No, I'm still cycle syncing. In fact, this is the first cycle that I haven't done the Mira testing, and I am day 15 today. I'm gonna give it until at least day 20, see if there's any kind of lift in my BBT, and then I'll go back to taking it if I don't see anything. But I have the last 2 days, I have seen a little tiny increase. Not enough to get me over the median line or the cover line, but enough that, it's certainly trending upwards. So I was like, I'm gonna just wait and see. So if I see it trend back down, I'll start the progesterone. But as long as it's trending up, I'm gonna leave it until I see if it's confirming ovulation or not.
Yeah, I'm like, you're brave because when I did the mirror testing, I was like, I went a few days without the progesterone and I was like, absolutely not, I can't. So my testing obviously is not going to be as accurate as yours, but I was like, I can't.
Yeah. No, I definitely smoked more weed the last 2 cycles than I normally do. I will fully admit that I indulged in the Cheech and Chong hormone instead of instead of that. So I definitely smoked more than I normally do the last 2 cycles to like help even it out. I took a lot more CBDs as well than I normally
Yeah.
do. So I probably actually didn't have much more THC than normal, but I definitely had a lot more CBD and CBGs than I normally do to like help balance out that lack of progesterone support.
Yeah. With the hot flashes, because I haven't had them yet, I'm knocking on all the wood.
Yeah, knock on all the wood.
Are you still cold and then you're getting hot, or is your temperature just a little bit warmer in general?
I don't know. It's been 90 degrees up here.
I
So
know,
I'm having a
same.
that's why I was like, is anybody hot? Do I need to turn on the fan? Because it's like 90 degrees. The house is 80, you know? So I was like, and I'm getting more used to the cold being up here too. So I was like, maybe it's just, and I know mom is cold. So I figured she'd be okay. But I thought the boys would be like, no, it's hot. Let's turn on a fan. And they were both like, no, it's fine. So then I was like, oh, 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 never mind. That's a knee problem. So, I can't really tell if it's just like because it's hot. So I've just been warm all day. But
Yeah.
I mean, we have the fan on at night and it's cold because we're in the mountains at night. So it really, the temperature dips drastically in the evening. And so I've had the fan on all night. And by the time I do wake up in the morning, I am pulling the covers back up. So I do feel like it's still there. And I know that my thyroid is within normal, but I know it's at the very low end of normal. So I think it probably is like once we get out of the summer, I'll probably go back to being really cold normally and then have those moments. We'll see. But I am
Yeah,
taking
I'm
iodine to try
curious.
and like help boost the thyroid function. So
Wait, what are you taking? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
iodine. I'm doing a drop of iodine in my water just to try and give my thyroid a little extra boost. When I didn't have health insurance, it helped a lot. So I'm hoping that between my regular thyroid medication and then a drop of iodine a day, it will help kind of get me out of the bottom percentage and up a little bit more towards more thriving rather than surviving.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I know, I know. I have asked, I mean, I've had the tests done, and unfortunately, I'm within the normal range, so they can't do anything about it. But I was like, I really think I need like a little booster.
Yeah, and just the same, like I was in the normal range, optimal normal range, not traditional normal range, like
Hmm.
optimal. And since I've added some more in, I feel way better. So
Yeah. I
now
know.
this
I
is
really
probably
wish I
my
could get,
optimal new range.
I know. I really wish I could get the doctors here to be like, well, let's just give you a little tap more. But they're like, no, you're in the normal range. I can't do anything. So we'll see.
Well, talk to me and everybody else because things have changed for Perry, right? We're both, it's interesting too because we're a year apart in age and we're in totally different stages of perimenopause. So
Yeah.
it's super interesting for us to catch up as well and hear a little bit more about what's going on. But since it's the summer, since you, I don't know, feel like, do you have more energy? What's going on with projects? Fill everybody in on what I feel like every time I talk to you, you're having these unbelievable, amazing downloads. So tell us what's going on. I mean, I'm a summer girl too, so I'm just curious.
Definitely feeling better with the summer, just like you. Way more energy, feeling a lot better. Getting out to hike the dogs first thing in the morning before it gets hot. And the dogs can only do 2 miles right now because I was a little lazy at the end of last year, beginning of this year when it was cold and dark and miserable and I was not my anxiety was just spiraling out of control. So they're also a little bit like, oh, 2 miles is good, mom. Let's turn around. Like we get to the mile mark and they just stop and look at me and then they just turn around and go home. And I'm like, okay, so that's fine with me. So we're all getting back into shape together. Right. So I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast yet, but we've talked to some people. I had my weird like three mediums in 1 week come to me, unbeknownst to me that they were all mediums, but they all were like, you're on the right track. You've gone through all of the trials. You just need to tap into your intuition and tap into your spirit side. Stop being so afraid of it and start diving into it more. So I've been doing these practices with Jen Lang. We're truth testing every day. We're doing, like, I always do Qigong and meditation, but I'm helping support her do that. She's helping support me do my truth testing every day. So I've definitely been spending a lot more time diving into the esoteric Tai Chi stuff, which is my husband's absolute favorite subject when it comes to Tai Chi and Qigong and Taoism. He loves to get into the weird, which overlaps quite perfectly with the things that I'm learning now, which I laugh. I was like, basically, what I'm learning from Healers Academy, I think it is. I was like, it's basically like the white lady language to Taoism, right? She was talking about how it's really important to sit with nature, opening up your energy field to like a tree or a plant and see what it has to say. Sit there until you can have a conversation. I was like, that's what Taoism talks about all the time, to meditate and chi cycle into the tree so that you and the tree can have a conversation, right? It's like opening to nature kind of thing. I was like, boy, this is just white lady words for what I've already learned in Taoism. So I was like, that's good though, because that helps me talk to my clients better who are learning these things for the first time. So I was like, this is really actually helpful, not only just for my own knowledge and to like keep in my practice, but deepen it as well, but also because then I can have better conversations with my clients and people around me. So I have been getting some incredible downloads through all of this diving into practice. And it's so funny because the synchronicities are coming out like crazy, right? So as I've been getting these downloads, I was like, I've had this podcast idea knocking around in my head for a long time about doing something that's focused on pain. And that could be bodily pain like endometriosis, adenomyosis, those kinds of things. Just painful periods, right? Dysmenorrhea, whatever. But also emotional pain like PMDD or the PTSD or complex PTSD you get from endometriosis and painful conditions like that. And then the spiritual pain, right? Like, how do you go back to actually feeling something other than absolute horror and hatred for your menstrual cycle when you've been through such pain? So I was like, this is really a comprehensive topic, right? So we could even go into prevention and then cycle syncing and that kind of stuff to help reduce the pain. So it's like this is a really juicy topic. Like if I did under half an hour episodes, make it easy on me to record and upload and everything, I could really do a nice pain podcast. And as I was debating it, I talked to you about it. You were like, great idea, do it. I talked to Chris. He was like, that you really do need to do that 100%. And then the next day, I had two women in a local group that I'm in say they want to get hysterectomies. They're in their 20s because they have painful periods. And they've tried the birth control, they've tried IUDs, and there's just nothing else that they can do. One of them did say she tried dietary adjustments, but I don't know what that means.
Mm.
And I suspect it probably doesn't mean a lot, it probably means I try not to drink caffeine for a couple of weeks or something. So I was like, there's so much more that you can try though. And they were like, what? Like what? And I was like, oh my God. First of all, have a free call. You can talk to me for an hour and we can dive into all of this. Like, this is hard to just chat text. So they were both like, oh, I didn't even know there were other options. And I was like, you're trying to get a hysterectomy at 20 for painful periods when you actually don't even know that there's other options out there. Like I didn't either in my 20s. I also wanted a hysterectomy in my 20s because I also did not know there were other options, but there are. So to me, it was just like, if I could just be like, hey, go hit the Pain Free Periods podcast and just have a listen and then come back to me. So I was like, you know what? I need to get this up and running. So I've recorded 2 episodes already. And actually, when this comes out, the Pain Free Periods podcast will be released. At the time of this recording, I have the first one scheduled for, yeah, Thursday, the Thursday after this comes out. So
Oh, cool.
today will be Tuesday, the 14th of July, and the first episode should be coming out Thursday, assuming all goes well. So,
No, I love it. I feel
yeah.
like the conversation is so needed, and your experience going from feeling like that in your 20s to navigating it for a very long time and giving people, I don't know if hope is the right word because it still sucks,
It does.
but hope in a sense that you can minimize the pain, you can do things to navigate kind of the hellscape of it all.
I'm going to keep working on those two ladies. But in the meantime, I was like, I got to get this. Obviously, I have to get this podcast. Like, all of the signs are screaming at me to get this up and running.
Yes.
So,
And
yeah,
like we talked about the other day, I just feel like your experience and your wisdom, and it just makes such a difference when you can relate to somebody that's gone through something. Like I mention this all the time. I'm like, I have so much empathy for what you go through every single month, but I will never truly understand that.
yeah,
So it's so helpful for you to talk about it so other people have somebody that they can relate to and be like, okay, it's not just me, because I'm sure it was so isolating when,
yeah,
especially as a teenager,
it
right?
is.
And you're getting first of all, you're getting your period. Nobody knows what's going on. Like you're trying to just navigate that, but then being so painful, you're passing out. Like all of that is just,
Yeah,
especially even for younger women that might not know what's going on, and they can find you and they're like, oh, okay, like it's endometriosis. Here's some things I can do. Here's some ways I can help myself, support myself, and educate my doctors, because a
yes,
lot of doctors don't even know.
yeah. No, I think it'll be good. And then like we can deep dive into things on this podcast because we have longer episodes. So it can always be like, hey, if you want to deep dive, head over to Period Besties and we deep dive on this, you know? So I think
Yeah.
it'll be a really nice compliment to each other. And then of course I'm working on the summit. So
Yes.
So in between the podcast, the new podcast recording, I'm working on the summit. I'm doing all the background tech stuff. So working on the landing page, working on the email series and reminders and all that good stuff. So the summit is coming along really nicely. I'm so excited for it. We've got the speakers locked in. I can't wait to, first of all, the business panel. I am gonna just die because between Tash and Jane, I think I'm gonna just die laughing for 2 hours. Like, I think it's gonna be the funniest panel of all of them. But then I love that we've got a couple of panels that are just doctors talking seriously about hormone replacement therapy and, managing stress and stuff. So I think some are going to be hilarious, some are going to be like really info packed, serious. The idea for the summit was because I wanted to be able to have chats with everybody at the same time. Like I really wanted to
Yeah.
basically have a conference of everybody that I wanted to talk to.
Yeah. We're like,
Like
here's a case study.
yeah. And one, I just wanted everybody in the same room at the same time for a week where we could all just chat and nerd out with no, time limits and stress and all these kinds of things. But then they
Yeah.
have everyone there live. So you can ask questions and get feedback in real time from a panel of experts. Like even at conferences, you don't generally get time to ask questions and get answers. So I'm really excited. And then we have moderators who'll be looking for, okay, 3 people asked this question. Let's, suss it out. Or I keep seeing this theme come up in the chat. So let's talk about it. So to be able to have the opportunity to help a lot of people live in real time with a panel of my favorite nerds all together in one place where we all get to do what we do best. It's my dream moment, honestly. I have to say, the summit I'm looking forward to, like a kid giddy for the ice cream truck to come for the first time in summer. Like, I'm just so excited.
Period Besties is going live in Unfiltered this September. 1 week, 7 panels, and an absolute dream team of experts. We're talking Dr. Laura Bryden, Dr. Carrie Jones, Lisa Henderson Jack, and more, all showing up to answer your questions in real time.
No scripts and no shame. We're just going to get into real talk about your cycle and hormones. This is a once in a lifetime lineup and it's completely free. Join us live the week of September 21st. Sign up now at the link below.
I'm super excited too. I love this whole idea. Okay, so it sounds like you're going to be busy with work. What's any fun summer plans? Life check-in, like what's going on with your life, your summer?
We have one plan. So Chris is leaving Trader Joe's and he's getting a full-time job teaching theater. In fact, he's the entire theater department for a school here. So he's going to take a couple weeks off in between, and we're going to take the dogs on a trial camping trip.
Oh, okay. That should be fun.
Yeah, we want to take the dogs not far, like some place that's within an hour drive. We live in a national forest, so there's several places we can go. And we're going to take the dogs for an overnight to see how they do camping with us. And if it's terrible, we can drive home quickly and make it, be back in our beds in our home within an hour. But if it goes well, then we want to do a longer one. So one of our favorite places in New Mexico is this hot springs that you can bring dogs to because it's all camping, it's all campgrounds around it. So what we really want to do, but it's like 4 hours away. So we want to go down there for a couple of nights, but we don't want to do it unless we know the dogs can handle it. So we're doing a trial run camping trip. And then if that goes well, we're going to go spend a couple days at the hot springs.
That sounds awesome. So I have not gone camping with my dog, but Jim went with the boys and his friend and Piper. Piper did
Great.
not enjoy herself, but
Yeah,
Piper is a little bit of a diva dog. I think your dogs will be much easier. I think they like the woods and hiking and
they
all
do.
of that better. She just wants to be on her pillow on top of my bed.
I know. It's just, I think more than anything, it's Jack's anxiety. Like he has to have CBDs to sleep throughout the night without throwing up at home. So
Oh.
we'll definitely bring the CBDs with us, but he's just got such anxiety that I'm not sure if he'll be okay or if he'll love it. And he'll be like, everyone's here, let's just doggy pile and sleep. And he'll be like so happy because everyone's in one spot where he can keep an eye on everybody. So I'm not sure
Yeah, he
which way
might
it's gonna go.
thrive. Yeah. No, I think that's so cool. It's so fun. Yeah. And just like you and Chris having some time together will be really nice and him not having to get up so early and rushing
No.
out. Yeah.
No.
Well, before I forget to ask you, have you tried anything new lately? Any new tea, supplements, anything?
Yeah, I got rid of a ton of supplements that I was taking in an attempt to clean things up and see what was going on. I've been focusing on just increasing my vitamin D a little bit. As I was looking at kind of how things were going, vitamin D kept coming up. So I was like, I'm gonna just increase my vitamin D a little bit and then my B vitamins. I was taking the Lady Well herbs. If anyone wants to go back to that podcast episode where we interviewed the CEO of that, I was taking those last summer and I was feeling really good. And then over the winter, I just couldn't get into taking them. Like I wasn't having a smoothie. I couldn't get myself to stir them into my coffee every day. So I really sort of fell off of those. And last summer I was taking DHEA. So now I've added back in DHEA. I want to see if it was the Ladywell herbs, the DHEA, or the combination of the two. So I'm starting with the DHEA again, and in another month, maybe 2 months, I'm going to start taking the Ladywell herbs again. And then I want to see if those two are complementary or if one was really better than the other as far as like energy and stuff is concerned. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna just do that for at least two cycles and see what happens. Although my cycles have been actually last month was the first month that I had a normal cycle in like 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
No, more than that. I had four cycles in a row that were 49 days. One was 48. And then before that, I was having 36, 37-day cycles. So I've had really long cycles for the last almost year, I would say. Yesterday, I felt just a tiny little crampy. So I was like, oh God, am I going to have a 2 week period?
Oh my God. Don't come for that. It's not fun.
No, I don't
I
want
got
it.
a few.
I
I
don't
got a
want it at
few.
all. I was like, I'm
Oh,
hoping that that was like an ovulation cramp, you know?
let's just call it that.
Yeah.
I love it. Anything else you want to share with the listeners, our friends sitting around?
One thing I will say is that I have been doing the eating for blood sugar that you and I do with our clients when we do our perimenopause nourish and flourish classes. We teach everybody how to do, and I've been doing it for a year and I have lost weight. I haven't changed my movement. In fact, I got lazier. I haven't lifted weights either because that whole like just anxiety and depression over the winter got the better of me. So I have just started getting back, but when I went to the doctor, I had lost 10 pounds. And I was like, how? I have been nothing but a bump on a log slob. And I was like, oh, I guess it's eating for my blood sugar because that's the only thing I've done consistently. And I had lost 10 pounds. So I am going to
Good
say
for
that if you're
you.
in perimenopause and you are struggling, just eat for your blood sugar because that has helped. I did start lifting the weights again as I've come out of the winter funk. I have started lifting my weights again and I'm getting in the hikes, so it's good. But over that time period, I was shocked that I lost 10 pounds over the
Yeah.
holidays.
Well, and last year was planning a wedding is very overwhelming. It's tough.
I thought
But
it'd be
it
the
just goes to
opposite.
show. No, totally. I just think it goes to show like how much stress impacts our body, especially during perimenopause. So the fact that like you can just focus on your life and work and not something else that is a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Quick, fun lightning round. And I'm going to add an extra question.
Ooh.
All right. What's your favorite junk food?
I should have thought about these before we jumped on.
I know. I did the same thing the other day.
I'm gonna have to say the Trader Joe's chocolate peanut butter cups. However, this summer they came out with passion fruit mango dark chocolate peanut butter cup, like not peanut butter cups with mango and passion fruit in them. They're little slim ones, and I am full on addicted.
I have not seen those.
I can't stop eating them. They're in the kitchen, and the only thing I can do is force myself to not eat them until I've had real food. That's the best I can do. I can't stop eating them. And I know they're seasonal, and I know they're going to disappear.
Oh
So,
God, that's how they rope you in, Trader Joe's. They're like limited time.
yeah, that's why I have to say the peanut butter cups are my consistent junk food because those are the ones that they always have you around.
Oh, they're so good. Oh my God. Okay. What's your favorite TV series?
I have been watching Victoria the last like I binged it during my last period. I watched 2 seasons in like 3 days. It was so good. But all-time favorite is Parks and Rec. I
Oh.
even have underwear that has Leslie Knope's face on it and it says ovaries before broveries. Chris got them for me. He got them for me for my birthday one year. It's like one of my favorite presents I've ever gotten in my life.
That's awesome. That show is so funny.
I know it's so
I love her podcast. I look
oh,
forward to it every Tuesday. I laugh. I'm like, thank you for helping me laugh.
I know. I love her so much. It's so good. I will rewatch that show at the drop of a hat.
Hmm. All right, I'm adding this question in. What is your favorite book or a book that you've read recently that you like?
Uh, so I've been reading Sue Grafton's Mysteries, where she goes, A is for alibi, B is all the way. I'm on
Yes.
X right now. I just started reading X, which is the only book in the series that doesn't go X is for. I just finished W yesterday and I just got X from the library this morning. I'm almost done with that series. I've loved it. I love a series that has a lady as the main character. I specifically love it because it's set in like the 80s. So,
Oh,
she's run
nice.
into a payphone, trying to find a quarter at the bottom of her bag, like all those kind of old school things. But also, she's single, she's a private detective. Her curiosity takes her into dangerous situations. And so I really like that character. So I really have enjoyed those books. But I am such a book nerd. The world can know this right now. I am one student teaching credit away from having a degree in English literature for secondary education. So that's how much of a book nerd I am, is that I went through all of the courses except for the student teaching. So I love books, and there are some that I go back to over and over and over again. But one of my favorite authors is, I don't know if you've ever read Cowgirls Get the Blues.
No, but I've heard that book's amazing.
Yeah. So Tom
Oh,
Robbins, he's just like off the wall, really crazy. I've read every single book that that man has produced, even really weird ones, because every time I go to a used bookstore, I look for them. And when I was in Portland last time, I went to that giant bookstore that's there and I found one that I had never seen before and grabbed it. I love him, and I even got the opportunity to do a master class in copywriting with one of his apprentices, and it was like such a nerd moment for me. I just absolutely
I
loved
love it.
it. Lonesome Traveler by Jack Kerouac is one of my books that I come back to over and over
Oh my
again.
God. I love his writing. Oh my God.
I do too, but
Dharma
what I like,
Blues is one of my, no, Dharma Bums is one of my
yeah,
favorite books.
it's so good, but I love Lonesome Traveler because it's not a nonfiction book, right? It is truly his life, and it's everything from moving to Los Angeles way back in the day when downtown LA was a totally different place. But there's a section in it where he's on fire watch. So he's basically put in a cabin at the top of a mountain where no one can get to him for like 6 months to do the fire watch stuff. And to me, that's my dream. I would give anything to spend 6 months by myself in a cabinet on fire watch duty on top of a mountain. I reread that section. Every time I travel, I take that book with me. I have a physical copy that's just an absolute disaster. Travel books in general are favorites of mine. And I will say one other book that came out not too long ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, is called Vagina Obscura. It's phenomenal. And I recommend it to every period nerd, every menstrual cycle nerd, anyone who's interested. It's such a good book.
Why have I never read this?
You know what? I don't know. Rachel E. Gross is her name. Vagina Obscura. It's so good. She talks about it, and I did actually a whole series of Instagram reels about this book because it's rare that I get a highlighter out at this point when I'm reading like a menstrual or period-based book. But I got a highlighter and a pen and note tabs, like little sticky tabs, everything out because I dissected this book. It was so good. I did a whole bunch of Instagrams on it. But one of the things that she talked about is how it's unlikely that we're born with all of our eggs in our ovaries. And she does the math for it, where she goes, if this is
Oh.
how many eggs you're supposed to have, and every month you're growing 10 to 15 of them, discarding all of them but one, the math just doesn't math. So you have to be able to develop eggs as you're aging. And I've always kind of thought that, but I just was always kind of like, well, it's not my wheelhouse. I don't know how to do any of this. But when I was reading her book, I was like, oh my God, I've always kind of wondered about that. I don't think I've read a period-based book cover to cover before or after reading that book in 10 years.
I think
Yeah,
you and I just need an hour conversation about books.
I do too.
Okay, let's schedule that. What's a household item you cannot live without?
My tea kettle, my electric kettle. We have a travel kettle, literally, to go with us. Even when we go to certain campsites, because we know there's a plug-in, we bring it with us. That's how much I need my
Oh,
electric kettle.
that's awesome. Do you take naps?
Yeah, in luteal, deep luteal, menstrual, for sure I do. Usually follicular ovulation, I can't. I can rest, like I can lay down for an hour and like scroll, but I can't sleep. So really depends on where I am in my cycle. I'll be interested to see how that changes in perimenopause.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely keep me posted on that. I
Because
wish
I'm
I can nap
napping more
still.
now. Like I'm definitely
Yeah.
napping a lot more than because, but I'm having, 50-day cycles. So
Yeah. So your body's
yeah, tired.
definitely tired. Yeah. All right. Last question, and probably the hardest question. Where's your favorite vacation spot?
Oh God, I really should have thought this one through. There's so many good places.
No, it's hard to pick one.
I would go back to South America if money didn't matter, if I could go anywhere in the world, I probably would go back to South America. I went to Argentina, to Buenos Aires, and I would love to go to Patagonia. That's where I would like to go
Mm.
next. If I could go someplace completely different, I think I would go to Patagonia. But if I had to go to someplace I'd already been to, Greece, I think, is where I would go back to next. I haven't been there since the early 2000s. I'm almost tempted to say Perth. I loved Perth in Australia. I could have just been because I was staying with Shannon Dunn, who's a good friend of mine, and we went out paddle boarding all the time, and I love stand-up paddle boarding. I liked Bali. I liked all of those places, but I think if I had to go back for a real vacation, it would be Greece to just lay on the beach, kick
And
back.
just eat all the food.
Yes, I just want to eat all that fish. Like when I was in Greece, I lived there for 3 months on Lesbos and I got all of my fish off of the boats. I even got into the local lottery because I was there living with locals and they were like, oh, yeah, you can jump into the lottery. So each day the fishermen do a lottery where you can win, at least when I was there, who somebody wins basically the leftovers. So you just get a big bag of whatever's left over that didn't sell that day. So some days you can get really good, high
Oh, I'm
quality stuff
sure.
if it just happened to be that.
It's
I just the
just so
food.
fresh. Oh, it
I
just
know.
tastes so good.
The food was so good and laying on that beach was amazing. I would go back. Yeah, I would go back to Greece.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, Poland. I want to
Poland's
go
fun.
back to Krakow so bad.
Yeah.
Yes. I loved Krakow. I want to go to Warsaw, but I loved Krakow and I want to go back there so bad. I take it back. I would go back to Poland next if I had the choice. That's where I would go next.
Okay.
All right.
I told you this is going to be the hardest question.
Oh, it is so
My God. Stasha, I love chatting with you. Thanks for sharing all of the amazingness that you are with all of our listeners. We need to schedule a call just to talk about books. And for everyone listening, meet Stasha, your period bestie. I hope you had the best time listening and hanging out with us. And we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
A big shout out and thank you to our sponsors for today's episode, Period Coaching School and Katie Bresek Wellness.
Thanks to you, our favorite bestie, for listening to the Period Besties podcast, where no topic is TMI. And of course, share this episode with your besties.
Remember to leave us a 5-star review, nothing less than the best for us besties, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can follow us on Instagram at Stasha Washburn and at Katie Bresak, or email us at periodbestiespodcast@gmail.com.
Check out more about us at katiebresak.com and periodcoachingschool.com. And of course, check the show notes for free goodies and extras that support this episode.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye for now, besties.